Hey, welcome back, guys, to Mesh Network Previously Technicals. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and get yourselves over to the free Mesh Telegram group. Links are all down below in the description. So we have a look at the US dollar index. Just before we jump in, guys, we've got some fundamentals coming up Thursday and Friday. I'd advise against trading on those days. Some CPI, some heavy fundamentals on the US dollar Thursday and Friday, and we've got some fundamentals on the British pound on Friday. They said personally I'd avoid trading on Thursday and Friday, but let's jump into the technicals. So we look on a monthly chart on the DXY. As we've been watching this area, if you keep up to date with the videos, you'll know about this 101,500 area. Obviously, a massive support on the US dollar index over the last few months. We've not seen any closure below that line on the monthly chart as of yet. Still trading within this descending triangle that we've been mentioning over the last few weeks also. As we see, we had monthly closure last week. We've seen this big move. We've seen this big move to the downside once we broke this previous structure and this 101,500 area that we've been talking about. So once we've seen that break of that area, we came all the way down and we tapped this 99,500 area that we were paying attention to, and then prices pulled right the way back up. And on that monthly candle, the previous month's candle for July, we've seen closure above that structure and above that 101,500 area. But if we look at the current monthly candle, as we see, suggesting a lot of liquidity has been grabbed. We've closed above that 101,500 area, but as we see from structure, we're still bearish on the monthly, and we're still trading within this descending triangle. So as we see from this month's price, a couple of days in, 1 weekend, we're seeing this big wick to the upside, and we've also tapped this area, which we'll look down on these smaller time frames now. We'll have a deeper look at that. But yeah, we're still trading bearish into this important area of support within this descending triangle, and we're making these lower highs on the way down. So potentially to make another lower high here before breaking this very important area of support. So let's go down into, so as you can see, bearish on the monthly. Once again, you say price has started making these lower lows and lower highs. So we got this swing high, and then that this lower high, lower low, lower high, and now, lower low, and now it looks as though we're starting to create this lower high before breaking down through this 101,500 area. As mentioned on previous records as well, guys, if we do get confirmation of a break below this 101,500 area, we could potentially see quite a move to the downside. Yeah, so previous weeks, just looking at this structure that we've been making, as we say, we've got nice bearish structure on the weekly prices. This is where we've seen that big move to the downside on the monthly, where it's left us the wick, where prices came back up. It's broken through this 101,500 area. It's came back up to retest it and make a third leg extension. But as you see, prices not managed to maintain resistance to this 101,500 area. And we've come back to retest this previous weekly structure and this area around 102,800 or 102, call it 102,900 area, where we've seen resistance established previously. So now prices come back up and it's tapped that area and then pulled back before closing for the week. As you can see, seeing a lot of buyers exhaustion this week here. So prices came up, tapped this area, and then started to pull back and closed as that big wick to the upside. There suggests that the buyers weren't able to maintain that buying pressure all the way through, and we've had that closure, which looks like we tested that weekly structure and that area of resistance. So bearish on the weekly. Excuse me. So now we go down into the daily. As you can see, we haven't got that multi-time frame synchronicity, so we've got bearish on the weekly, bearish on the weekly. Now when we start to go into the daily, we see. So we've been seeing this nice, clean, bullish structure. As you can see, it's making higher highs, higher lows, and it's tapping those areas. It's respecting those areas. It's coming back, retesting that previous structure point, it's moving off, and then it's done the same again before giving us this double top area. So once we've seen this double top at 103,500, which, as mentioned, has been acting as resistance and acting as support, validating this area. So we've seen resistance. Sorry, we've seen resistance established here, pull back into that area, and then a failure to break through that level of resistance and through this previous structure. And then once we've seen the structure break to the downside, we see this little area of consolidation on the daily. We have these double top area, and then we see that break of structure to the downside, and then we've seen a lot of volume coming. But obviously, whenever we see this, as you traders know, we have an imbalance in the market when we see moves like this. So as we can see, we've gone from a nice bullish structure. We've had the break of structure without the retest, and we've had a big move to the downside, breaking all these lows. But now what we're starting to see is that 99,500 area acting as support, and then price starts to move up, getting bullish structure. And what we notice if we look to the left here is this bullish structure. It's coming back to retest this area where we left all those imbalances after that big move to the downside. So we could suggest, obviously, we are clearly bullish on the daily at the minute, but just going off the higher time frames, obviously the weekly, that bearish structure with the nice clean retest, and on the monthly, you say we've got this current candle now with the big wick to the upside. So once again, we'd like to see this daily start to go bearish, and then we'd have our multi-time frame correlations. Basically, we can expect price to come back, retest this area before perhaps trading within this range, retesting the upper end of this descending triangle before starting to break down. And then once again, this is the area we're very interested in, the 11500 areas. Obviously, all the higher time frames is telling us we're still still bearish on the DXY, sorry. So we're waiting for the retest of these areas before starting to see downward movement through this 10500. But yeah, just keeping an eye on this daily structure. Obviously, with it being bullish at the minute and higher time frames being bearish, I'd like to see the daily start to retest these areas before going bearish. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for on the technicals for this week with the DXY.
This looks like, zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, look, that's looking a lot like a descending triangle on this time frame. So I reckon if we go to a weekly and a monthly, the descending triangle will be a lot better. There we go. So it's actually, it's broken out of that descending triangle, possibly a little bit too early for that retest. So what?
Yeah, so you've got a lot of expectation for it to come back up this end.
Exactly. So I'm expecting, I would possibly like to see a retest. Now it's broken back above that 101.5 level. I'd expect us to hit that key level you've just circled there. And if we fail to break on that, we retest, and that would be the confirmation before the actual breakdown. I really think that the breakdown is going to occur as that squeezes into our horizontal support.
Yeah, especially like you say, for how long this descending triangle has been getting respected for. It's, like you say, this has been playing out the last couple of months. So we could probability dictates that we could come up and see further taps of this area before we see this tight squeeze. And like I say, 101,500, been paying attention to this for months on the DXY. So we know this is a very important area of value. So like I say, it's definitely, when we've seen this move to the downside fundamentals, it was definitely premature. It just, it sort of validates the scenario coming back up to before going into this squeeze, like you say. It's just
based on simulation theory, I'm expecting CPI to come in a bit hot and we see dollar strength.
Yeah, it's like you say, it should play out like that. I strongly believe we'll go within this squeeze before breaking down, and then once we do see this
break. What week is that? What week starting is that squeeze?
Well, around the year you're talking.
Yeah, so we're looking about October, November.
Yeah, still a bit off.
It's an interesting time because it's a quieter time in the markets. Generally,
Like you
the
say, that
Christmas
would,
period. If
yeah,
it was
so,
to squeeze out in that time period, if it squeezes out around December or November, December, it is November, isn't it? So if it was to
yeah,
squeeze
so
out in
going
November,
into
then
November, yeah. This is, yeah, 30th. Yeah, so we're going into November, yeah. Like you say, but could just see this consolidating up until this point and then perhaps fundamentals taking us down. But definitely think that we broke out of that range too soon and we'll definitely have a test in this area, you know.
yeah, I agree. I think it doesn't feel right. Feels inorganic.
Yeah, because if you even look on your forward hour, it's just once we've seen this big move to the downside, it's just the amount of imbalances in the market it left. It's just that's why I've got this area around 102.89, yeah, 102.870ish. So we see on the smaller time frames, once we had this area of consolidation in that little, it was trading within that range
Yeah,
as we see, and then once these lows and this structure got broken, we just
it's
had
been all
no,
head and shoulders.
yeah, it's like just no confirmation as well, and now we see obviously this area needed to be confirmed, and now it's looking as if obviously on the smaller time frames we had the confirmation of that last week, and then I, I don't think we'll break this 101.500 until we start to get in this squeeze, and then once we have this squeeze and that convergence, as you know, we do see a lot of volume, a lot of volatility on those breaks, which we'll be very interested in. Yeah, looking at descending triangle looking like it's still playing out like.
Yeah, it does. Looks very.
Yeah, that's the outlook on the DXY for this week. But remember, guys, get yourself over to the free Telegram group and we put updates and obviously mention fundamentals to be aware of. As mentioned at the start of the call, we've got fundamentals on Thursday, Friday, which I would advise sitting on the sideline, sit on your hands and just let's see how that plays out going into the next week. Those higher probability trades. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.